All right, and I'm supposed to just let you know that we are recording the class because some people do it later, and I'm not sure if Leanne posts those or not, but I usually post them. So we are recording. So if you are unmuted for some reason, or your picture might end up on the screen if you turn on your camera, so just be aware of that. But for the most part, it's just going to be me on the screen. It's like how it is most of the time. All right, so let me see how many we got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. So we're supposed to have 2 more. So I'm going to give them a moment because some people aren't as punctual or early as everyone else. So we'll just give them a moment to, you know, get here. And if, we got one, Lucy. Welcome, Lucy. Hopefully you can all hear me. So I do want to mention that I've been having some technical difficulties with the high-tech gear. So I bought a microphone, and we were using that last week during the Vinyasa class, and the Yin class, actually. No, I think just the Vinyasa class. And, hopefully the sound was a little better because in order to get this frame, the camera has to be pretty far from me in order to get this much of the room. So what that means is the further back I go, generally the worse the sound is going to be. I tried to get a microphone that would keep the sound more consistent, so it was closer to me the whole time. But as luck would have it, my microphone crapped out on me. So I'm returning it, and I'll be back hopefully by next week. So, well, who knows when we'll be back, to be honest with you. But it is hopefully coming back soon, and then the sound will be back how it was. Let me see here. I am going to set the sound, though. Give me a second. All right. So hopefully the sound is good. Hopefully you can, relatively speaking, hopefully you can hear me okay. We're just waiting on one more. So I'll give them just a second longer and then we'll get started. Okay, so again, props for the class that you might want, maybe a block or two and perhaps a strap. Blocks are kind of unique in that there isn't necessarily something you'll have in your house that is like that, but a strap, any old belt will do for the strap. Okay, so you can use just any old belt. All right, so let's go ahead and start. I'm going to start, as we often do, in person with a little bit of chanting. Okay, so if you'd like to join in, this is just called the pranava, or pranava, and it is chanting Om. Okay, so A-U-M-O-M, however you want to spell it is fine. The pronunciation is more or less the same. And I'm going to chant it 3 times, and you are welcome to join me as we do that. So take a nice deep breath in. Namaste. Okay, so it's great to have you all on board for class today. Let's start with a little bit of breathing awareness. So please find a comfortable seat. This position I'm in is called Sukhasana, but any similar comfortable seat for you is perfectly fine. Sitting tall, ears, shoulders, and hips stacked. The shoulders relaxed down away from the ears. The jaw relaxes, teeth parting slightly. The brow, the cheeks, the lips can all relax. The eyes can close. And our attention begins to move into the present moment. And the present is just whatever is happening right now. If we have any sort of expectation, if we're anticipating a certain experience, then we will find it difficult, if not impossible, to be present. So presence arises naturally when we just let go of the compulsive need to try and control, to try and protect, to try. And so when we just let go and stop trying, here we are. And we might feel very vulnerable when we do that. And I think that's a good thing. If we can't be vulnerable in our yoga practice, then where can we be vulnerable? Where can we allow ourselves to feel what we're afraid to feel and to experience what we might be afraid to experience if not in yoga? So knowing that our deepest nature has the capacity to experience anything that life can bring to us in its fullness and completeness, and help give us courage and help us face whatever it is that we might be feeling in this moment, without judgment, without fear, even if it's fear itself. It might sound odd, but can we experience fear without being afraid of it? And so from that raw space, that open space, let's begin to focus on our breathing. Not an attempt to change anything or to manage that rawness or to try and push it away, but as a way of flowing with the currents of life, of cooperating with it. So just feeling the breath, that breath current that's with us as long as we're embodied in a human body. And then again, as I said, working with that current. So as we inhale, we let the belly expand out. We let the ribs begin to broaden. We let the upper chest lift in that order. As we exhale, we reverse that. The upper chest comes down, the rib cage collapses, the belly pulls in and up toward the spine. Each breath a little deeper and fuller than the breath before, but without any sense of strain. Again, we don't have to fight with life. We are life. And so if we relax into the natural current of what we are, we will find ourselves carried we will find ourselves drawn along by that current naturally. And we will find a joy and a peace that just does not happen when we're fighting that current. Now, once you've established that, begin to create a soft ocean sound at the back of your throat, like you're fogging a mirror. And this is the E-RYT technique. The inhale and the exhale are the same length. Okay? Again, there's no straining going on. With our next exhale, let's come forward into a tabletop position. We continue with the deep breathing, but now we begin to coordinate the breath and the movement. Inhale, tailbone lifts, belly drops, crown of the head comes up. Exhale, tailbone tucks, back rounds, crown of the head comes down. Continue moving back and forth, gently warming up and waking up the spine. Do as many as you feel you need. And once you feel that you've done a good job of warming up the spine and the torso muscles, tuck your toes, lift up and back into a down dog. And do the same, focusing on the toes, the feet, ankles, knees, and hips, as well as the muscles in your legs. Then once you feel that you've stretched out, come into your full expression of down dog. Hands about shoulder width apart. Fingers spread as wide as they'll go. The pads under the index finger firmly planted in the ground. The chest actively drawing toward the toes and heels actively reaching toward the ground. The breath is still deep, rhythmic, and slow, using both techniques, Dirgha and Ujjayi. From here, we'll walk our feet to our hands, coming into a brief ragdoll. And then with the next inhale, slowly rolling up to standing, stacking ears, shoulders, hips, knees, and heels. Good. Let's start our standing with Surya Namaskar, Sun Salutation A. Feet touching if possible, otherwise inside edges of the feet parallel with one another. As you inhale, draw your arms up, touch palms, and lift the heart, coming into a standing back bend. With the exhale, coming through the heart center, coming all the way forward and down, and placing the palms flat. Bend the knees as much as necessary, and let your neck relax. With the next inhale, coming to your fingertips and lengthening the spine, reaching through the crown of the head. As you exhale, stepping back to the top of a push-up, feet about hip distance, toes tucked under the heels, and the wrists directly below the shoulders. Align ears, shoulders, hips, knees, and heels into your plank pose. Let's drop our knees for the first push-up, focusing on the arms and shoulders. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, lower down halfway, about halfway, bending the elbows to a right angle and have the elbows hug the ribs. Take a breath there. With your next exhale, lower all the way down onto your belly. Release the tops of the feet to the mat, pressing them into the ground. And with your inhale, press into the hands, lift your head, neck, and chest, but leave the pelvis on the ground for cobra. Keep the elbows in, shoulders away from the ears, and allow the neck to be a natural extension of your spine. As you exhale, lower back down, tuck the toes, press back to tabletop, and then to downward facing dog. Breathe. The next inhale, coming to the toes, looking between the hands. As you exhale, making your way to the front edge of the mat. The next inhale, coming all the way up to standing back bend. Good. Exhaling the hands to the heart center as you come forward and down, and placing the palms flat. Inhale to half lift, and exhale to the top of a push-up once again. So it's up to you whether you choose knees up or down, but the action in the arms should be exactly the same, whether our knees are up or down. Take a deep breath and exhale, lower down halfway. Inhale, straighten arms and legs for up dog, or you can do cobra. If you're in up dog, your knees are off the ground, the legs are active. And then as you exhale, coming through tabletop or straight back to the downward facing dog. Again, breathe there in the downward dog. Good. Let's do one more. Coming to the toes between the hands. Exhale, step, jump, or float to the front edge of your mat. Inhaling all the way up to Anuvritasana, standing back bend. Exhale, hands through heart center, forward fold. Good. Inhale to half lift. And as you exhale, try and come right to the bottom of a push-up. Inhale to the upward facing dog. Again, you can do cobra here. Exhale to a push-up, tabletop, or straight back to downward dog. And breathe. All right, so as many of you know, now we do some half breath transitions, which means we take the pauses out. We're not trying to go any faster. We're not trying to rush. Also, you need to pick the variation that is appropriate for you. If none of those are appropriate for you, then you may have to modify further. But if you are modifying, try and keep with the family of posture that is being used. So if we're doing a back bend, you should not be doing a forward bend when the rest of us are doing a back bend. Okay? Likewise, you shouldn't be doing a twist or something else. I understand we all have our favorite postures, but sun salutations have a specific physiological effect on us. And if we change it too much, it no longer has that effect. Okay, let's do a few rounds of half breath. All right, so inhale, coming to your toes in downward dog. Exhale to the front edge of your mat. Inhale all the way up and back to standing back bend, no rushing. And then exhale all the way forward and down. Make sure you empty the lungs completely there. Inhaling to the half lift. You could also do crow pose there. Exhale to the bottom of your push-up. Then inhaling to upward facing dog. Exhale right back to downward dog. Once you're in downward dog, inhale to the toes, look forward, fill the lungs, and exhale to the front edge of your mat. Inhale all the way up and back, standing back bend. Maybe you go a little further. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale to the half lift. Again, crow or even handstand could be done here. Exhale, bottom of the push-up. Hold it, don't rush it. Inhale to the upward facing dog. Don't hold that too long. And exhale right back to downward dog. One more time. Inhaling to the toes. Fill the lungs there. Exhale, step, jump, or float to the front edge of your mat. Inhaling to standing back bend all the way up and back. And exhale, forward fold. Empty the lungs. Inhale, half lift or one of the other options. Exhale, bottom of the push-up, low plank. Inhale to upward facing dog, fill the lungs. And exhale to downward dog, empty the lungs. Breathing here in downward dog. Now, if you are winded, I want you to go ahead and take a child pose for a few breaths, okay? It's not really our intent to get winded, okay? We might feel like we're really working hard if we're winded, we're out of breath. I know that a lot of times in Western exercise, we think that that's a good thing. We're going for that. And I'm not going to say it's a bad thing. I am going to say, though, in this style of yoga, it's not what we want. Okay, so if you're panting, something like that, then take a little break. Catch your breath. Very important. Use the techniques. Okay, now you can continue catching your breath if you're doing that, but we're going to move on. You probably know a lot of this anyway. So moving along to sun salutation B. We'll come to the toes as we inhale, and as we exhale, make our way to the front edge of the mat. Bring our feet together, bend our knees, and we'll inhale to a chair pose. Okay, sinking those hips down until we feel that intensity in the hips and the legs. The arms are straight up and back, palms facing, fingers energized. As we exhale, let's release into the forward fold, emptying the lungs completely. And again, inhale, half lift. And we'll exhale right to the bottom of our push-up. Inhale to the upward facing dog and exhale back to the downward dog. Good. Let's go ahead and inhale that right leg up and back to our three-legged dog. Let's bend the knee, open up the hip a little bit. And if you'd like, you can flip your dog over. Take a little asymmetrical back bend here. You can come to your toes. Move this arm around a little bit. As you exhale, let's bring the hand back down, and let's come into a really nice three-legged dog. So we're rolling that hip down, the right hip level with the left, pointing the hip, knee, and toes straight to the ground. From here, we'll take a nice deep breath. As we exhale, place the foot between the hands. Dropping the back heel, we inhale to a warrior one, Vidyadrasana. Front foot and knee point straight ahead. The knee lunges directly over the heel. The front foot, if I drew a line, it intersects my back foot at the heel or the arch. So it's a pretty narrow stance this way. It's wide this way and narrow this way. Okay? Arms are straight up and back, palms facing one another, fingers energized. Breath is deep, it's rhythmic, it's slow. Let's take a nice deep breath here. And as we exhale, we release to the bottom of our push-up. Making our way through the Vinyasa sequence. Again, you can do a push-up on your way out if you'd like. Good, other side. Let's bring those feet to touch. Inhale that left leg up and back. And let's begin just opening up that hip a little bit, stretching the waist a little bit. And again, if it sounds like a good idea, you can flip your dog over. I like the way that feels in my body, especially today. Good. Taking a deep breath there. We'll come back into three-legged dog. Let's lift that leg up. So see how my leg's not limp? My hip isn't rolling out, right? The knee isn't bent. See if you can really get as close as you can to what I'm doing. Okay, from there, we take a nice deep breath. Exhale that foot between the hands, dropping the back heel. We inhale to our warrior one. Now, the postures are really the beginning of something, not the end. Okay, so when I'm in the right posture, that's my opportunity to start meditating, to start noticing what's going on. And a good place to start is just with physical sensation. Do I feel this front thigh working? Do I feel this hip stretching? If not, I'm probably not doing the posture properly. From here, let's take a deep breath. Exhale, bottom of the push-up. Making our way back to our downward facing dog, okay? All right, good. So again, we'll do a few rounds of half breath transitions. If you're wondering why I'm not doing them with you, it's because I figured out that teaching and doing that at the same time is a bad idea. I just get too winded. So you shouldn't be talking. You should be doing the breathing techniques, right? I'm talking, which means I really shouldn't be doing those postures quickly like that. Again, if you need a rest, take a child pose at any time. But I will say, don't baby yourself. Believe in your innate strength. And I'm not talking about your physical strength. You might be a physically weak person. I'm talking about spirit, soul, right? Gandhi and Martin Luther King talked about soul power. All right, that's what I'm talking about here. Believe in something inside of you that is indestructible. And you might find that that radiates through your physical being. It allows you to do things that you didn't even know were possible. Okay? So don't think of yourself as weak. Don't believe that narrative in your mind. All right, let's try it. So we're going to inhale to our toes. Exhale, front edge of the mat. Bend those knees. Inhale, chair pose. Deep breath in, powerful breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Empty the lungs. Inhale, half lift, or one of the other options. We're going to exhale right to the bottom of our push-up. Inhaling to upward facing dog. And then exhale, push-up, tabletop, or straight back to down dog. Let's skip three-legged dog. So inhale that right foot forward. Raise up, warrior one. Exhale, low plank position. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, down dog. Other side, inhale, left foot forward, warrior one. That is a very difficult transition to make in one inhale. Exhale, right back down, bottom of the push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale to downward dog. In downward dog, inhale to your toes, fill the lungs there. Exhale, step, jump, or float to the front edge of your mat. Inhale to chair pose, fill the lungs there. Exhale, forward fold, empty the lungs. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, bottom of your push-up, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale to the upward facing dog. And exhale right back to downward dog. Inhale, warrior one with the right foot forward. Exhale, low plank position. Inhale to upward facing dog. And exhale back to downward dog. Inhale, left foot, warrior one, Virabhadrasana. Exhale, low plank position. Inhale to the upward facing dog. And exhale right back to the down dog. Good. Let's inhale to our toes, filling the lungs completely. And we exhale to the front edge of the mat. Inhaling to our last chair pose for today. We exhale and release. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, bottom of the push-up, low plank. Inhale to upward facing dog. Exhale, push-up, tabletop, or down dog. Inhale, right foot forward, Virabhadrasana, warrior one. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot, Virabhadrasana, come on up. And exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, down dog. Beautiful. Let's hold down dog for a few breaths. Again, if you find yourself winded, doesn't mean you're a bad person. Okay, so don't be ashamed or afraid of that if that's the case. But recognize I'm winded. I need to take a minute here. I need to breathe deeply. I need to take a child pose. If you want a sip of water, now is not a bad time to grab a sip of water. Okay. If you're working on an arm balance or an inversion, now is not a bad time to try it. Okay? If you have a very vigorous practice and you feel you should be warmed up at this point, this is a good time to try that. You're not too tired yet, but you are warmed up, right? So just taking a few more breaths there, and then we're going to get into some standing postures. All right, so we're going to get into some groin stretching. And to do that, I'm actually, I think, going to turn this way. You don't need to turn, but just make sure that you can see the screen when we do this next one. So inhale the right leg up and back, and exhale that foot between the hands. And then from here, let's go ahead and come on up into our warrior one. And then we're going to exhale to a warrior two position. Good. Now from the warrior two, we want our front foot and knee pointing straight ahead, right? Again, the knee lunges directly over the heel. Again, we have that heel to heel or heel to arch alignment. Reaching the arms out like I'm trying to touch both walls brings them parallel with the ground. And I don't need to look at them. I'm looking over the front fingertips. Without that, this tends to happen. Right? I'm not looking at that back arm, so it goes down. So you reach out and it will automatically go parallel with the ground. Good. From here, let's inhale up into this position. This is called stupa, which is a type of Buddhist temple or statue, if you will. And we're going to exhale into a goddess pose. Okay, so we're opening up our groin here. Good. And then from this goddess, let's go ahead and come on down. And we'll begin to bend our knees and come in a little bit deeper into a groin stretch. Okay, so we're coming from side to side, just gently really opening up the groin. So the groin is the inside of the thigh here. So we're working into that area, side to side. You don't have to come quite so low. Okay, so if that doesn't feel good in your body, then you probably should refrain from doing it right now. So everyone's kind of in a different place, right? We can all sign up for the same class. It doesn't mean it's going to affect us all in the same way. So if you're up here, that's totally fine. Okay, you're just doing what you can. You can even have your hands on blocks. But we're trying to feel that stretch on the inside of the thighs. All right, good. Then from there, we're going to turn back to face front. And then we'll step back and take a vinyasa. Good. So again, I'm turning just so that I can continue to face the camera. But depending on where you have your computer set up, you probably do not need to turn. All right, other side. So we'll inhale the left leg up, bring that between the hands, and we'll inhale to a warrior one, and then open up into a warrior two. Okay, so we're here. Again, let's get that front foot and knee pointing straight ahead. Should already feel that stretching inside of the thighs to some degree. Okay, it may not be the deepest stretch here. And this pose is a combination of stretching and strengthening. So that front leg is getting stronger. That back leg is stretching. All right, from here, let's inhale up into our stupa or temple. And as we exhale, we come into the goddess. Based on goddess, we want our knees over our heels, knees and toes pointing the same direction, and the arms are basically mirroring the legs. From here, let's take a nice deep breath, and we exhale into a forward fold. From there, again, let's see if we can work a little deeper into the inside of the groins. Okay, so we're coming side to side here. And we maybe have to work a little harder to get a stretch. So you play around the torso position, okay, working side to side, exploring which muscles have not been touched yet, have not been stretched yet. How can I get to those muscles? So again, for me, the key is really torso. So if I move my torso like that, I can get a little deeper stretch. All right, good. From here, let's make our way into our lunge. And again, we will vinyasa back to our downward dog. Okay, then from here, we're going to come to our toes. Exhale, front edge of the mat. Let's inhale all the way up, standing, and we'll exhale our hands to our hips. I'm going to step back just so I have a little more room, but you could be right at the front edge of your mat. In fact, if you want, you can step off of your mat for this one, okay? So I'm going to face forward for this so that you can hopefully see what I'm doing a little better. Okay, if possible, the feet are touching. We're working on our balance. We want a very narrow center of balance, if you will. Okay, and then from there, we're going to shift weight to our left foot, bend the right knee. Okay, and then what I'd like you to do is reach down. I'm just going to grab this shin like so. Okay, and then maybe that's it. Maybe you stay right there for now. If you want to go a step further, we're going to reach down and we'll grab the big toe or the outside edge of the foot. Okay, and I need to make sure I stand tall once I've done that. So I'm not folding forward. Okay, standing nice and tall. Now, if you are holding the foot, with your next exhale, you extend the leg. Okay, this could also be done like this. You're holding behind the leg. But again, you could also be here. Okay, so any one of those positions is fine. Now, whatever you're doing, I want you to take a nice deep breath. And with the next exhale, you're going to bring the leg out to the side. And again, we want to feel the stretch in here. You can bring this arm out to help you with counterbalance. And again, if you're holding the toes or the outside edge of the foot, that would look a little more like this, right? So this is called Utthita Hasta Padangustasana B variation. Good. Let's inhale that leg back to center and try and let go of the foot without lowering the leg, and then with the next exhale, lower the leg down. Good. Let's take a breath. Balance is super important. This is one of the things I emphasize in this style class is balance postures because it's, again, super important. So if you're having trouble balancing, this is how you get better at it. You do more of it. Okay? All right, let's try the other side. So feet together. We're going to shift weight over to the right foot. Then we're bending that knee. And again, stage one, I'm right here, just like this. Okay? And again, I don't need to do more than that. If this is challenging, if I'm falling over. Okay, if I want to go a step further, then I can reach down and grab the toes or outside edge of the foot. And again, I'm going to stand tall. Whew. Losing my balance there. Okay, so standing nice and tall. And then again, from there, I can exhale, extend that leg. Good. So whether I have the leg extended or not, let's all take a deep breath in. And we'll exhale, swing that leg out to the side. And again, this arm can come out for counterbalance. Good. Let's inhale that leg back to center, hands to the hip. We'll release the leg, try and keep it lifted, and then exhale, lower that leg. Good. Let's take a nice deep breath in and deep breath out. You do that while I fix my mat. All right. Beautiful, guys. Okay, from here, let's go ahead and If you're not at the front of your mat, let's make our way there. Inhale, arms up, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, and we'll make our way back to a downward dog. Beautiful. Okay, let's see what we've got on the menu today. Okay, from there, let's come to the toes, look between the hands, and we'll come forward to a seat. Okay, so we're just sitting down. And let's give our shoulders a little love here. So with the hands behind us, palms down, just walk our hands back as far as they'll go. And eventually they won't be able to go any further. And at that point, I should feel stretch in my shoulders. Now, if it's in my elbows, I'll put a little bend in my elbows. And if it's not intense enough, I bend my knees and I just lift my hips up slightly and shift them forward like that. Okay, once you've got it, just close your eyes and just breathe. Feel the shoulders releasing tension with each exhalation. With each inhalation, you're bringing in life force, prana, chi, energy to heal and to rejuvenate and enliven this part of your body. Good. As we inhale, slowly make our way up. Extend those legs. Inhale the arms, and exhale as we gradually come back onto our back. All right, nice. So we're going to do some back bending now. Let's bend those knees, place the feet on the ground. Okay, our feet and knees hip distance approximately, and notice the feet are very close to the hips. Palms are down. From here, I'll take my chin, tuck it slightly, and try and elongate the back of my neck onto the ground, and the back of my head is on the ground. Exhaling here with the next inhale, I lift my hips up. Okay? And then from here, take the hands underneath, interlace fingers, join the palms. Try and shrug one shoulder under it and then the other. Okay, and then if it feels safe to do so, let's inhale that right leg up, and we'll take a breath. Notice that the hips drop down. We want to keep them lifted. Okay, so pointing the toes, lifting the hips. Good. We exhale the right leg. Inhale, left leg up. Hips are lifting, breathing. Good. Let's exhale that left leg again. Inhale, hips lift up, and then exhale slowly coming down, dropping the knees in against one another and taking the feet hip distance. Relax, breathe, and feel. Beautiful. All right, so let's do another back bend. The bridge, will repeat it. This time we'll see if we can lift those legs and keep them lifted a little longer. So from here, we're going to exhale. And then our inhale, we're coming back up again. Maybe we go a little bit further. Changing the fingers that are interlaced. Again, shrugging those shoulders under, lifting those hips. And then let's try right leg lifting up, and let's hold for a count of 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Take a nice deep breath in, exhale that leg down, and slowly, well, actually don't lower down, sorry, we're going to do the other leg. So let's inhale that left leg up, keeping those hips lifted, and breathing with me for 1, 2 slow, deep, intentional breaths. And 3. Good. Take a nice deep breath in and exhale. Lower that leg. And again, this time, let's lower those hips. Return to constructive rest. Knees drop in, feet mat width. Relax. Good. Let's do one more. And this time, I'm going to invite you to go a little further with wheel pose. If wheel is not part of your practice, feel free to repeat bridge. Okay, I'm going to scoop myself down a little bit. Feet, again, more or less same position as bridge. I will say, however, if you felt pain in your low back with your feet narrow, try a little wider. Feet and knees a little wider. And then the hands come alongside our head. The fingers point down toward the bottom of the mat. Again, hands maybe a little wider than shoulder width. Okay, then from there, pressing into hands and feet, we lift up and we breathe. As we exhale, we slowly come back down. Take our feet mat distance, drop our knees in, return to constructive rest, relax. And just letting your feet, or rather your knees, drop from side to side. Bring some windshield wipers to release the low back. That should feel good. If it doesn't, then stop, obviously, or maybe just modify what you're doing. Do as many of those as you like, and then let your feet join together as your knees drop out to the sides. Okay, take a few breaths. That is Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined cobbler's pose. Good, let's go ahead and bring our legs in. We'll give them a little squeeze. Move around a little bit, make sure the back's feeling pretty good. And then we'll do a few rounds of water wheels. So you can do these with your hands alongside your hips, or you can place them underneath your hips. Okay, now we'll extend the legs straight up unless there's pain in the back, and then I want you to bend your knees until that pain goes away. Okay, it is more intense and it works the upper abdomen. If you raise your head and neck up like that, you should feel this muscle right here engages. That's your rectus abdominis. Okay, so if you're down here, that may not engage so much. So we lift up. Now take a nice deep breath. Exhale, lowering the legs toward the ground. And just before they touch, we're going to draw them in and extend them up. And then exhale, lowering down again. Good. So if you want to work a little harder, you keep the legs straight as you lift them. See if you can lift and lower at the same rate. Good. Now the next time you lower 1/3 of the way and hold for 1, 2, 3. Lower 1/3 of the way, and 1, 2, and 3. Now lower 1 just above the ground, hovering for 1, 2, and 3. Take a nice deep breath, exhale, relax onto your back completely. Go. Feel the second half of the pose, the energetic effects. Beautiful. From here, let's go ahead and bring our right leg in. Give that leg a squeeze. Then place the right foot on the top of the left thigh. Extend the right arm to the right and guide the right knee down to the left. The knee may or may not reach the ground. Your right shoulder may come up off the ground a little bit. And look to your right. Try and let your right hip be drawn over the left hip, but without straining or hurting your back. Good. Let's inhale back to center, and we'll switch the legs. Drawing the left leg in, give it a squeeze, move it around a little bit. My legs have been sore since that yang yoga class that I did on Monday. Some of you may have streamed that or watched that. That definitely made my legs sore. So it's a good leg workout if that's what you're looking for. Okay, from here, we're going to place that foot on the opposite thigh. Extend the left arm to the left. We guide the knee down toward the ground. So again, my knee is not going to touch. I just don't have that level of flexibility. That's okay. I'm just sort of resting my hand here, holding the leg in position. And again, I'm going to look away from my knee. As I hold this, I breathe into any tension, any tightness, any pain that I find in my physical form. Good. Let's inhale, bring that knee back to center. Extend that leg. Let's bring in both legs now. Give them a little squeeze. Feel that back. And then grabbing the soles of the feet for happy baby. Again, stretching the back, stretching the hips. You can work the legs one at a time or both together. Pull them overhead. Pull them out to the sides. Excellent. When you're ready to relax, come onto your back in Shavasana. Okay, we're going to take about 5-6 minutes to relax, and I will let you know when it's time to come back. So if you have an eye pillow, that's a good idea. If you can shut off the lights, that's a good idea. Making yourself very comfortable so you'll have no need to move for a few minutes. I am going to shut off my mic and camera for that time, but I'll be back. So just relax. Don't worry, you'll know when it's time to come back, okay? So beginning to stretch and move yourself, deepening your breath, moving your body. And when you're ready, making your way up to seated. I want to thank you all for joining me for this class this afternoon. I hope you got a lot from it. Feel free to reach out with questions. So you can find me on my website, mahapathayoga.com. You can find me on Facebook. I always accept friend requests from students. And, you know, if you're having trouble, I mean, this can be a very troubling time right now, a very difficult time. You know, if you have a question about something we did in class, if you have, you know, you're having trouble dealing with pandemic, feel free to reach out. Let me know if I can help you or support you in some way. I've got a lot of material on my Patreon page, and right now it's all free. So a lot of yogic resources, yoga nidras, meditation, instruction, pranayams, different kinds of asana classes. Okay, so I really want to try and support you at this time, which might be very challenging for you. So thank you all for coming. I hope to see you in the next class, which starts at in 15 minutes at 6. It's a yin class, very different than this, so it's a nice complement. And if not, then I hope to see you next week at 4:45 or at 6 o'clock. So namaste, everyone. Thank you, and see you soon. Bye. Thanks, Lucy.